Well, welcome everybody to Rev Up for Success Radio. We're so excited to be here, and I'm so excited to be here today with Mark Maes. Hello, Mark. How are you today?
Hello, Claudia. Good morning. How are you?
I'm so good, and I know we're going to have such great energy and wisdom and inspiration for our guest today. And we are here. We actually broadcast through Raven International. I want to give them such great credit. I've been part of that broadcasting company for over 3.5 years. We've done over 125 shows, and I'm excited for that. And now we have what I call the live version. We are able to also have this show up on YouTube. So I'm excited to be here with all of you and to have Mark here and to bring inspiration, motivation, and education to you. And it really is all wrapped around your success, and I believe in your health, your wealth, and your relationships. And if we're covering all those bases, you're going to be one happy camper, and that's what we want. We want that for you. And I am Claudia Cooley. I am the founder, and I am the executive producer of this show. And it has been a wonderful journey, and the people that have come on board and have said yes are here to pay it forward to help you be successful. We're here to help you miss those potholes and get around those detours that sometimes get you stuck and you don't get to move forward. And we want you to live that impactful, powerful life that you were designed for. So welcome to our guest, and I'm going to share a little bit about Mark. And I don't want to embarrass him, but I'm going to share a little bit about him. I've known Mark now for maybe over a year now, Mark. I'm thinking, what do you think?
Yes, I'm thinking over a year.
Yeah, and we've done some work together. We're planning to do more in the future. We just are on the same page. He's come and spoken for some of my events. Just an amazing man, and so giving of himself and his knowledge and his heart. That's what I love. So Mark Maes is the founder and CEO of Maes and Associates, a business consulting firm, and he is the creator of the High Five Priority Business Mapping System, which you are going to want to find out about because it is amazing. He shared some of it with at some of my events, and it's really been inspirational and educational for sure. So before launching Maes and Associates in 2009, Mark was the CEO founder of M&M Interiors for over 20 years. His leadership and commitment to excellence propelled the Riverside-based company to occupy the position of the 4th largest non-union C9 contractor in California. Amazing. That's huge. My husband was a contractor, so I know that is huge. Mark's portfolio of accomplishments include a degree in marketing, advertising, and business, construction law, and management, as well as blueprint reading. For over 7 years, Mark attended TEC, which this is interesting, a CEO Fortune 500 distinguished group of business owners, and 4 years with BBL, Biblically Based Leadership for CEOs and Executives. Amazing. And this goes on and on, you guys. There's so much more about him, but I'm going to have Mark fill in the rest of the story. And what I really want Mark to share with us, and actually Mark has been on my show before, but we haven't gotten to see him visually, and now here we have this opportunity. But I want you to share where you're going in this business. I mean, you have some amazing, huge, as I like to say, hairy, audacious goals. And so share about this and what's propelling you to this next level.
Oh my gosh, I tell you, it's such, first off, it's a privilege to be here, and thank you very much, Claudia. And Raven as well. It's to be able to take this medium and to be able to communicate these experiences, these understandings, these intricate tools to apply into their businesses, such a support mechanism for exactly what I want to accomplish. That's why I do what I do, is to be able to empower business owners that are, they've either been in business or they've been struggling, or they've had great accomplishments. They just want to take it to the next level, or whether it's a vision and investors, a group of people that want to invest into an idea, and how do they get that great idea from the idea mindset into a performing business. And that's really where the High Five Priority Business Mapping comes into play. And that's oftentimes when people talk to me, that's what I say I do. But when I talk to my customers, my clients, they say it's just a partnership that I provide to them, to be able to have that CEO behind the scenes, just in the kitchen, doing what we want to accomplish. And that's really what we do.
Well, there is a lot of power in linking arms with somebody. And I feel like there's that sense of community, or it actually gives us the pillars of strength when we know that somebody's in our kitchen, so to speak, or in the background, showing us the way, not letting us stumble, keeping us on track, and having that accountability person that's wise. Not just an accountability person, but somebody that's wise. I mean, that's where people sometimes miss the mark, because they don't bring somebody into their life or situation like that. So they feel like it's just, I've just got to struggle along and make this happen. And that isn't the truth. That's not the truth.
You don't have to do that. And when I listen to you read my bio, I have to smile and say, really, where I see myself is I'm an alumni of the School of Hard Knocks, where the things I've spent a lot of time in the institutional learning through college, through these business groups, but really the takeaway where these things come together has been an experience, an application. And then, I can think back in high school and college, so many years learning things, parts and pieces of the high five, but never understanding how they connected. The theory made sense to me, but the application really wasn't embedded in your mind. Like if you're in a crisis situation and you just innately know what to do, that's where it feels good to be in business, when you have that resource, that wherewithal, to just give you that confidence to be faithful instead of fearful. And that's one of the things we've talked about as well. It's if you can give them these tools through the high five priorities, business mapping in those 5 departments, and then you can really just go around the process of coaching the people, empowering them.
And in the mapping, what you're using is what you call gears. And the gear, yes. And tell us what the gears are, for somebody's first time hearing you.
Okay, the structure of business, every business has these 5 departments in it, whether they utilize them or not, but it's just the logic, the philosophy of business. And it starts off, there's 5 categories, and I call those the gears of business. The first gear, the first department is marketing. So important. And inside of marketing, there's a number of different components that go on, but that's gear number 1. Gear number 2 is sales. So important. It's the component that takes what marketing causes and then converts it into revenue. Really, contracts, invoices, agreements. Then the next one, the gear number 3, is finance and administration. And that's really the component that handles the HR, the legalities, the taxes, the payroll, the accounting, finance and administration. And then from that, then the next gear number 4, is operations. And 78% of businesses start in the operations field. People end up owning or being in business, not being qualified to say they're business executives or business CEOs, but because they're great operations, they're great widget makers. They make a great meal, so they open a restaurant. They make a great cabinet, so they become cabinet makers. They create beautiful dresses, so they become designer, right? But the next thing you know, after you've been doing that, you start doing it, you find out that your gift and talent, you find out that there's a demand for it, and you're not doing it as a hobby, but there's the demand that causes you to say you're in business. Well, now you're in business, but you don't know about these other 4 categories. You know very well the operations of how to do your business and how to do it well, but you have to embrace these other 4 categories to be able to get consistency in your business, to remove that ebb and flow. You run to the front of the boat and you run to the back of the boat and you're constantly in this reactive mode. That's not the structure of business, but so often that's the percentage of business owners' mindset. And the high 5 priority business mapping empowers them. It takes that part of reaction and causes you to be proactive. It gives you that opportunity to say, you know what, this is what I want to accomplish, and this is how I do it, and this is when I'm going to do it, and this is how it's going to be done. So many times we just bounce that great idea. One of these days I'm going to get to this. One of these days I sure would like to do this, or I sure would like to do that. And it's just the wrong mindset for success is what I believe. Because really what we want to do, people want to exceed, but they just so often don't know how and what that looks like. But if you can take the time to communicate that with them and help them identify that in a fashion that they know what that means, not what you know, but they, the doers, then they're empowered to do it. So the high five priority business mapping brings that all into play. It takes all of those categories into play. And then the fifth category after operations is brand and company growth management. That's the part where you do the customer. You understand who your clients are and how they appreciate your service and your sales, and why do they buy from you versus somebody else. And then you want to utilize that kind of information and take that. You want to look for those truths. It's not so much to applaud how well you are, but to find opportunities to how you can become better. Because it's really about relationships in business, and understanding who your clients are and why they buy from you is something that is so empowering for a business. But again, if you started your business being a great cabinet owner, you might not know those types of things. And that's where the high five priority business mapping takes the operational person and gives them those step-by-step processes that just causes them to manage their business correctly. It's empowering.
And actually, in my coaching business, I have seen people have great ideas, the great widget, and they're excited and they become the entrepreneur. They step into that space, but they don't have any confidence in the financial area. They have the ideas, they know how to create the product, all of that, but they don't maybe know how to market it, or they don't know how to keep track of the finances so that they know they're making a profit. And so I love what you do. Well, because you bring in all the gears. So they're learning from all of those components. So they could be the great idea person. They need to know about that other. They may have to hire team members to come in and start providing that area, filling in that gap, but they need to still know about it, right?
Right. And yeah, and we've talked about the gears in oil. You're clearly a dynamic expert on oil, on the culture of how to empower people. Well, understanding that back in when I first was in the business world in the very beginning, there were one generation of mindsets, maybe two. Well, now in the current mindset, we're dealing with 4, soon to be 5 different generations of thinking. And it's not a matter of judging right or wrong. It's a fact of embracing these are the conditions. That's part of success thinking is not being so focused on the limits of why things are the way they are, but how things can get where you want them to go. And understanding the generations, the different generations of mindsets, when you're as a leader, when you're communicating to them, you need to be aware of that. You need to speak the language that generation understands, that they value. So to go out and speak, when you speak to the millennials, you have to speak in a language that they understand, that's of value to them. Don't sell them short. You know, there's great ideas, great freedoms and creativities in their mindsets and their empowerments, but everything needs structure as well. Everything needs measurables as well. You cannot deny the core fundamentals of business. And if you can take the creativity of the millennial mindset and merge that with a blend of the old-fashioned block and tackle business fundamentals, you know, the core values of all the generations of integrity and honor and how to conduct themselves as professionals. It just makes so much, it creates this mindset of positive outcome instead of this mindset of reactive, what am I going to do? Panic. I don't know what to do, this unsettling feeling. Nobody wants to feel like that in their life. That's not the purpose of our life. So
Well,
we have.
do you feel like sometimes people start off with a great idea and they're entrepreneurial and they're stepping into it, and then they get discouraged because of some of these things you're talking about? They don't understand the measurables, or they don't know how to kind of, and I love working with millennials, by the way, because they are such visionaries, and I love that. But and you're right, but we all need something concrete.
Some reality. We really need to have some reality to the creativity side of things.
So the measurables would be what? Help us understand that.
Measurables are things, outcome that you expect. If you are going to, like in marketing, we'll start off in finance first. Measurables are an easy example in like key performance indicators to say how many. A measurable in accounting would be how, if we want to make say we want to make $120,000 a year. Well, how much do we need to make each month to get that? That's a measurable. How many clients does that look like? So if we want to make, 100,000, if we want to make $10,000 a month, how many clients is that? Well, don't kid ourselves and say it's 10 clients when we're selling a widget that's $5 a piece. We have to understand those connections, those measurables. And so we say if that's the sales numbers, then what does that look like in the marketing? So how many touches do we have to convert to these sales? And taking those measurables and making them work together. And the beauty of this is to be able to be proactive instead of reactive. And on Friday, not having to worry about all of the expectation of the week, but to start off Monday and to work on it Tuesday and to work on it Wednesday and Thursday, so that Friday you've had 5 shared days to accomplish the goal, not one reactive moment.
That's cool. Well, let's just take a quick break here, a sidebar, so that I can promote what pays for our show. And actually what's going on right now is, most of you know that I do masterminds, and I do within the masterminds, it's business building, life building, everything. We're building your life and giving your life synergy. That's what it's all about, synergy, and building the life that you want on your own terms. So what I have done is I'm starting a sisterhood for women leaders, women executives, CEOs, women entrepreneurs, and I am developing this sisterhood, and I'm having a retreat in May, on May the 20th. So I want you to go to claudiacooley.com/sisterhood, and it will take you right to all of the information. You can sign up if you're interested. And for my audience, I have a special code for you, that if you will type in IGNITE in the code, IGNITE, IGNITE, then you're going to get $20 off. You're going to get this special savings. And at this retreat, we're going to have massage for the women. We're going to have activities. We're going to have wine and a brunch. It's going to be a wonderful day to let our hair down, not responsible for anybody, not have to answer anybody's questions. It's going to be a great day. So that's May 20th, which is kind of time dating our show right now. However, I want you to know about that, because this is going to be really powerful, I believe, because I have just loved building the communities that come together in my masterminds, and I know that we are going to create something for each other that's going to go on and on. We're going to build relationships in a community. I'm so excited. So, Mark, thank you for letting me share that in the middle of what we're talking about. But that's what's sponsoring our show today. So it is the Women Leaders in Sisterhood. So check it out, claudiacooley.com/sisterhood. It's all right there for you to take part in. So I can't wait to see you there. So,
yes.
Okay, back to Mark. Mark, we talked about measurables. How do we get to the next level of our business?
How do we get to the next level of our business? Well, if that's a loaded question, I guess. It depends on what the next level is for their business and what they want to accomplish. But that's the thinking, and that's where it starts, is being able to know, you know what, this is where I'm at, and this is where I want to go. And to, you know, like anybody else, it's, we don't know what we don't know. So to limit our thinking, we want to be cautious of that. We want to embrace the fact that we have all that we need to accomplish all that we desire. So we want to be deliberate about saying, you know, this isn't right. This doesn't feel comfortable. I want to make a change. And that's where it starts, because when you take that mindset, that's when you're engaging these changes. And the block and tackle of the 5 departments of business, that's a methodology. That's an understanding of the practice of business. And, you know, I like when I speak at these different events, I really recommend that the customers, if they're not sure, potential people, that business owners, if they're not sure of where their business is at, go to my website. You can go to maesassociates.com, or you can go to maesllc.org, and we have a tab. You can go there for free right now and take a detailed customer survey that will really go through. It's really easy. There's just choices, and it assesses where you're at with your business, and then it will drop a copy and send it through, and I'll end up with it, and we'll send it back to you, and it'll help you be able to understand where it is in your business you might want to get started on.
That's awesome. That's an awesome gift for everybody.
It's a powerful survey.
And so when they go to your site, and you say it again, what it is, say where
yes,
they
it's
go.
maesllc.org, and you go there. On the cover page, there's a tab. You just push the button, and it says business survey, and you click on it, and it'll give you a couple paragraphs to explain how it works, and then you just go through and you read the question, and then you answer it, and it's a scale of 1 to 10, and you just mark it. I'm really knowledgeable about this and really comfortable, or I don't even know what this is, you know. And it just helps us give an assessment, because those 5 departments are so important for your business. So to be able to get, even if it's one item in each one of those departments, that will have a huge effect on your business, I promise you. And just getting,
and your confidence too would be.
Oh yeah, it's you know, and that's where it starts, the gears in the oil. It starts with understanding what, you know, believing. Are we being fearful or faithful? Are we standing on the backs of our feet, or are we on the tips of our toes? Are we ready to run? Are we engaged? Are we excited? Or are we fearful? Are we, you know, feeling overbearing on problems? Are we feeling this loss where nobody can help me? I don't even know how to say what my problems are. You know, it's really not that difficult. The difficult part is not knowing. So using the high 5, it's just like the hopper. Dump your problems out. It sorts it into these categories, and then it puts you back in the leadership role. But that business survey is really, really powerful, really a great resource.
Well, it sounds like it's empowering. And so that's what people need, particularly when you're the CEO of a company or an entrepreneur, you're in that leadership role. A lot of times you don't have anybody to turn to, or you're just starting your business and you're pretty much a one-man show, or maybe you've got like a few employees. It's all laying on your shoulders. So you start to feel overwhelmed and inundated with the questions, the problems, all that. And then you have the doubts. Am I going to make it? Are we going to make it? We got to make it. You know, so it's like, that's why they need somebody like you. So what is culture? I want to get to this before we end. What is culture, and why does it matter? Ever is there, let's see, if there is only one of you. So even if there's only one of you, culture. How's it work?
Culture it's such an important part of a business. And to speak to the culture of, even when there's just one person, you'll meet so many people that there's, you know, now with technology, there's one person in the ownership of a business, and they're running it by themselves. And I've heard people come up and say, well, I really believe in that culture. I remember when I used to work at Pac Bell, or I used to work for the gas company, and they really would coach the culture and how people want to be empowered. But now there's just me, so I really don't need that culture. And the fact of the matter is that even if there's just one of you, culture matters. There's the oil in the engine. You can have good oil or you can have bad oil, and it will affect the efficiencies and performance of your business. And I can't stress that enough, to be able to, whether it's the heart, when you wake up in the morning, you have to believe that there's a purpose. And when you're a CEO, you get up and you're deliberate about what you're doing. But when you get up and you're just the sole proprietor that just says, oh, woe is me, or this is just so overwhelming, how do I deal with it? I don't even want to get out of bed. It should never be that way, and it doesn't have to be that way. Sometimes all you need is mental support. You need somebody to get alongside of you. We're human beings. We're made out of flesh and blood. We all have that point where we just get complacent. We get lost. We get discouraged. But, it's right at that point, and we understand that when we can get that power partner, that alignment person that gets next to us, like in these mastermind groups that you put on, so important. That just engages them. It takes that mindset from I can't to I can. And sometimes that's all we need.
Yes. And I like what you're saying too, because I do my 7-minute to ignite your week on Facebook Live every Monday morning. And last week I talked about clean windows. And I'd had my windows washed, and it had changed my whole perception of my view. I didn't realize through the winter how the dulling and the dirt and all that on my windows had clouded my vision and had actually affected my own mood. And those windows became, and they're still clean this week, thank you, Lord. Anyway, and I look out, and it just makes me happy. I feel cheerful because I'm looking through clean windows. And in our own lives, like you're talking about, you might get discouraged in your business, you feel all alone, those kind of things. Your windows are kind of dirty. So when somebody comes along and puts some Windex on them and clears the view for you, it just reignites you. Is my feeling. Am I right?
I absolutely agree with you. Dr. Wayne Dyer wrote in a book on exactly that. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change, is the statement that he makes. And it's the power of perception, the perspective that we look at things. Are we, sometimes we have to change our stinking thinking.
Stinking thinking, that's for sure. Well, let's see. Some tips that you might want to leave our audience. We have a couple of minutes.
Awesome. I would like to share a few items, a few events that we've got going on.
Yes, this is your time.
We're going to be putting on some workshops with our CCD. I'm really looking forward to that. And we're going to be taking, through these series of workshops, we're going to be breaking down these 5 departments of business, and we're going to be empowering and teaching business owners what they're about, how they work together, and why is it we need to use these, and what can we expect when we use them. So that's going to be real powerful. We have, we're getting ready to launch our live mastermind groups, where we're going to be providing live placement, where we'll come to business groups and we'll provide mastermind interaction, where business owners can bring their challenges right to the forefront, and we can talk about their now problems and give them now solutions. And these mastermind groups, we're going to set them up so that in the beginning of it, we'll set them up in a one-to-one, where we understand the components and the details of their business and the intimacies of that. And then as we launch into the mastermind groups, it's just the accountability of what their goals and objectives that they set in the beginning, and how do we coach and process that. And in these mastermind groups, what makes them so powerful is that you also get a sense for proactive leadership and how to coach your people. In these mastermind groups, there's owners and CEOs of $200 million a year companies that still understand the value of accountability, and there's no team and there's no I in team. There's that accountability to performance of the plan and being able to do that. So we'll understand through these environments how to speak to people, how to proactively draw accountability to their plan, and how to empower them to be the leaders of their destiny, and how to create that environment that causes those successes.
Well, and too, in the mastermind, what I can visualize going to happen, and I've seen it happen, is all these wonderful thinkers coming together that are like-minded thinkers, and you're going to, it's like a brainstorming or a think tank.
Yes, iron sharpens iron.
Ideas
Yeah.
are going to pop up that you never even thought about.
Yes, yes, they're powerful, and it's so nice in those blends of companies because you get their perspective and their experience, their puzzle piece shape. So we all grow together, and you might be a company that's doing $10,000 a month, or $10,000 a year, just starting out, and now you're in a group with another business owner that owns a $50 million a year company. And you're sharing insight and building relationships and power partners, which are life lasting.
Yeah, it is life lasting. They will be your friends forever. And you will then have somebody to call up once in a while and say, hey, I need to brainstorm with somebody.
Yeah.
That'll always be your community, part of your culture. So, well, it's been wonderful having you on the show. And like always, you bring so much wisdom and inspiration and definitely some education. And I appreciate that. And I know my audience does too. So we will do more in the future, Mr. Maes. We will.
Looking forward to it. And if anybody would like to contact me for the services that we provide, feel free to go to our website, Maes, Maes, LLC.org, and fill out any one of the questionnaires, and it will come to me. I'll get your questions and contact you. You can contact Luminary Leaders, Shelly Harrison, and she'll set up the arrangements as well.
That's great. And yes, and Shelly is a great contact for everybody. And it's say the name of her company again.
Luminary Leaders.
Yes.
You can go, and their website is luminaryspeakers.com. And I should have her phone number right in front of me.
But you know what, everybody, you'll be able to see, because I do a blog about all of my guests, and you'll be able to see right on there all of this information. Again, if you don't find it, and you can always get a hold of me if you want to get a hold of him, because I'm the in-between person. I'm the connector. Anyway, and so you can get a hold of ClaudiaCooley.com. You can get a hold of me on there, or you can always call Claudia or go to my email, Claudia@ClaudiaCooley.com, and just leave an email and put Mark Maes in the subject, and I will get the info to you. So thank you, everybody, for being here. Have an awesome week. And remember, follow your vision and your path will show up. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Claudia.